What's going on, my friends? Davis here. I am actually now going to be doing a little bit of a test on the LG Velvet. If you haven't seen the unboxing video of this, go check it out right here. I'm here with my buddy Brianne, a good friend of mine. We're going to be taking a few landscapes and a couple portraits and see how everything goes. The first thing we ended up doing was actually just doing the regular portrait mode. The one thing I kind of liked about this is that it had the actual good amount of depth of field, good amount of blur in the background, but it actually had a little bit of issues figuring out the difference between the foreground and the subject. So like there's a lot of the actual foreground that's still in focus, but I don't know if that was on me taking the picture or if that was on the phone, but still looked good and turned out all right. Then I took a couple photos here with like the actual filters on them. The only two I really focused on just because they were a little more unique are like the cartoon effect and the sketch effect. So the cartoon effect was neat because that kept her right in focus really well and kept her this natural kind of colors but a little bit more pastel-y almost, but then added like a cartoon drawing almost of like the background, adding it like the sticks and the bushes and stuff like that in the background, making it a little bit more poppy almost. And there's the sketch that they had as well, kind of as if it was like a line drawing, which is the kind of the concept behind it. The idea is good, but I think it might have just been kind of time of day, I'm not sure, but again, it kind of just blended like her hands into like her jeans and stuff. It didn't turn out as well as I thought it should have. It's just need a little effect if you wanted to post on Instagram or something like that. And then there you go, you know, you have to take a little bit of a selfie. Got to check out that front camera too. And then because kind of landscapes is more of the main photography of what I'm kind of really into right now, I had to take at least a couple landscape photos, and some of the colors are definitely a little bit better just straight out of camera compared to like the G7. So this kind of shows up a little bit better as just a basic bright color straight out of camera, which I would still probably do some editing, a little bit of color correct afterwards before posting something like this on Instagram, but not as much in comparison to what I had with the G7. Okay, so just got back from that walk. I just wanted to say that we also did some video tests. We did a little bit of slow motion video. So at first we did the actual slow motion camera, the actual slow mo setting when you record. That recorded, it came up saying 120 frames per second, which is not an actual option when you put it in yourself. So I wanted to also do a manual test of changing the settings up to 60 frames a second and comparing the two to see if there's a major difference when you actually put it into software or filming, save anything like that. That's these. So I wanted to try out how the gameplay is as well. So I tried it out on a game that came pre-installed called Asphalt 9. So as you can see, that was definitely a game that takes advantage of the lot larger of a screen and takes advantage of the HD screen with the full bright HD colors. So that was definitely amazing. The new system of the phone itself, you definitely have good controls with the hand motions and the thumbprints and everything, making it really smooth, really excellent gameplay. And one thing, now that I actually have this phone set up more of how I like it, you can see here that it does flow really well, like I was stated before, and it scrolls really well. When you try to tap onto a picture or anything, sometimes it takes a double tap for it to actually recognize that you're clicking on it, not just scrolling, but that's just a little bit of a finicky issue just on like Twitter or Instagram, something that is not that big of a deal. Also, one thing that I'm kind of noticing it's kind of a good thing, kind of a bad thing, I'm not sure, maybe it's something that happens with any phone that's a little bit longer, a little bit wider, is the fact that when you're watching anything that's made 16 by 9, it kind of crops weird. so it doesn't fill up the entire screen. You don't get the actual use of the entire real estate of that larger screen when you're watching a video. You do have that option to zoom in all the way to make the screen fuller if need be. It does kind of crop it in, makes it squish up in the top a little bit more and kind of squish down in the bottom a little bit more. So that's up to you if you want to use that full real estate or not. So overall thoughts, definitely better than the G7 that I had before, which makes sense. It's a newer phone. Why would you get something new that's not as good as the previous version? Really like the full HD availability of the camera. Definitely really good. I still haven't had a chance to kind of go out and test the nighttime image, anything like that, but I don't shoot a whole lot of things at night really anyway, so if I was going to do that, I would probably use my actual camera, so not a big deal with anything like that. So gameplay's really nice and smooth. I really like the full real estate. The bigger screen makes it a little bit better if you're just playing something on your phone compared to playing on a system or a PC. So it has that a little bit better, a little bit brighter, full HD again, so it's really nice. Rolling is a little bit faster, again, than the G7, but again, makes sense, so why would you want to make it worse? Battery life has been actually surprisingly good. There's been a couple times that I have had it on throughout the entire day, taking pictures, recording video, and everything like that, and didn't plug it in at night, and still the next morning had like about 30%, and then didn't have to charge it until I was on my way to work later that evening. So overall, not the best smartphone out there. There are definitely ones that are better. I'm sure the iPhone 11, iPhone 12 are maybe better on some things. Maybe the Pixel's better than some other things. Galaxy S20 or S21, of course those ones are going to be a lot better because those are like $1,500, $2,000 phones, so they're basically like a tablet or a computer. So it has a lot more into it, which makes more sense. It's more expensive, it's going to be better. This is not a low budget phone, but not a super high budget. It's kind of right in the middle, so it makes sense for where it is, and that's what I like about it. So there are my thoughts on the LG Velvet. Tell me what you think. Is it a phone worth getting? Yes or no? Leave me a comment down below. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. It really helps out. And if you like any of the videos I've done before, make sure to hit the subscribe button. That's it from me now, guys. I will see you in the next one. Bye.